Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jill, and if you're new here, I am an author, artist, and creative entrepreneur, and I've been working on reinventing my creative business since January, not the least of which has been starting this channel. So every Wednesday, I go through my little notebook of daily wins. And this is me encouraging you, if you're starting a business, if you're, feeling stuck in your own entrepreneurial journey, whatever the case may be, keep a journal of your small wins, because I can guarantee if you try hard enough, you can think of at least one every day, unless you don't work on a certain day, but that's okay. It's important to take your days off too. Anyway, so last Wednesday was the 11th. That's probably where I left off. So I'm going to run through this, and then at the end of running through my weekly wins, I'm going to share with you guys just some entrepreneurial thoughts, which is something I sometimes do, sometimes not, depending what other videos I'm putting out any given week. So let's dig in, shall we? So starting with last Wednesday, I posted my weekly wins Wednesday. I do this usually in one shot, and I'm kind of low-key proud of myself that I can crank these out week over week and just get them done in under an hour. I proofread another 70 pages of my book. So again, if you're new here, I'm working on the third book in the series that I write. The series is called Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwich. I'll put my website here for you guys. And the third book is completely written. Obviously, based on context, I proofread it last week, and I'm working on illustrations, which you can see in a lot of my other videos right now. So yeah, as of last Wednesday, I proofread another 70 pages. I worked on 2 more video projects. On Thursday, I finished the proofreading. That was a big win. This is funny. Last Friday the 13th, I might add, the only win that I put down is I still showed up. Case in point, if you think hard enough, you can think of at least one small thing, and sometimes showing up for yourself is the best thing you can do in a day. All right, moving on. Saturday, I finished my my Independent Book Publishers Association video project. That is a long vlog which will be posted to this channel on Friday, so 2 days from now. It's actually queued up and ready to go. That was a monster of a project. There were over 90 tiny video segments that I had taken last year when I went traveling to the Midwest for the IBPA conference. So for me to finally put that together and finish it was another really big win. So that was a nice way to follow up Friday the 13th, which hadn't been a great day for me. Sunday, I finished the cover design for my third book, and I finished my week in my life vlog, which I posted on Monday. So Monday, my win was that I posted the week in my life. I fully rough sketched a chapter 2 illustration and got a 19th subscriber to my channel. And then yesterday, we'll finish off with St. Patrick's Day. I got my 20th subscriber overnight. I finished tracing the illustration that I'd rough sketched the day before, and I recorded and edited it as a draw with me. So again, that video will come out next week. I'm going to queue it up a little in advance just because I know what projects I have going on, what balls I'm juggling right now, and I don't want to put that video out too soon because then I won't have something to put out next week. And I really need to focus on my sketch pad for the rest of this week. So that being said, the thoughts I wanted to share with you today regarding entrepreneurship. So what you may or may not know, I don't know if I've made this explicitly clear at any point in my channel yet, but I am not a full-time entrepreneur. I am, at best right now, a half-time entrepreneur. I'm working to create as good of a balance as I can because I'm also a homemaker. I have a husband, we have several pets, and I am in fact in charge of a lot of errands, daily and weekly cleaning routines, and I do a lot of cooking by choice. I also, being that I came out of corporate life and really wanted to rethink my priorities in life, I make time for myself, for fitness, for family, friends, and also as of late, just being creative in a way that doesn't have to do with my business, because as an entrepreneur, you have to think about, sorry, there's a bird flying really close to my window. You have to think about what brings you energy, because you need good energy within yourself to be an entrepreneur. And especially if you're a creative entrepreneur, if you're not feeding the creative side of your brain with things that don't have to do with your creative business, you're going to hit burnout that much faster. Take it from somebody who knows. So that is my advice to you this week. And also, getting back to what I was saying about being a half-time entrepreneur, don't get me wrong, I love being able to do both of those things. However, I want to share with you that sometimes I absolutely feel the frustration of having to actively work on this balance. Some days it feels harder than others. And what I mean by that is, today it's already 1:30 in the afternoon. I got up at 5:30 today, and this is like me filming right now is the first time I've been at my desk all day, because there were just so many other things that I had to take care of and prioritize. And whenever that happens, sometimes I feel guilty, like, oh, I'm not prioritizing my business. But I have to remember, this is all a part of who I am. So if you're just starting out, if you're also in a place where you're creating a balance in your life, maybe you have kids, maybe you're like me and you have pets and or a husband, maybe you have school or a part-time job, whatever the case may be, just give yourself grace. And again, this is me sharing a lesson that I kind of need to hear myself sometimes, because if I were to dedicate 8 to 10 hours a day to my business, yes, it would grow faster. Will there be a point at which I have to do that? High likelihood that at some point this year I will need to accelerate a bit and figure out ways to save time in other areas of my life. But yeah, I just wanted to be real about some of the, again, and this is a minor frustration. It's my lifestyle choice overall, right? But yeah, some days I really just am like, rats, I wish I could just like sit at my desk and draw for 10 hours, and it's just not feasible. And also I recall back to when I had my corporate job, I did work from home, and there were in fact days that I would be working 8, 10, 12, 15 hours at my desk, and that was not fun. So there is something to be said for coming full circle on that. And if I'm wanting to be at my desk more, I feel like that's a positive thing. That just means I have to rebalance my time and be mindful of what I need to get done on any given day and where my respective to-do lists are at. Anyway, sometimes I'm not that great at finishing out a conversation, but I think that is all I had to say today on those topics. So as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I invite you to check out my Instagram account or my book website, which will come up on the end screen. And I will be continuing to record today for another Week in My Life video Week in My Life as a creative entrepreneur. Maybe I'll expand that out into other things in the future. But I am working on another vlog in that style, and it's primarily focused this week on illustrating and doing tasks relating to my book. So that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday, and I will see you again in the next one. Take care, guys.